Across the board.
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 You're listening to Across the Board. Buckle up, because things are about to get interesting.
So what are we talking about today?
We're bored, so we started looking stuff up. Plus, nobody wants to be a guest, unfortunately. I guess like if we had like a popular podcast that people actually watched, people would be dying to be on it. They'd be like, I want to be a guest on your podcast.
Just stay positive.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
We're going to have guests soon.
Well, we have a fucking full production at this point. There's like 17 different stands here, lights, cameras,
Backdrop.
on it. I might as well just start filming a TV show.
You should.
What's left? Like maybe just a couple more cameras. So we got bored, and then I saw something on TikTok, and I was like, okay, this is kind of a cool topic.
Yeah.
Not really. It's mildly interesting and somewhat entertaining. Mm-hmm. Weird laws.
Yeah.
There's apparently a lot of laws that are on the books that were from like way back in the day and don't apply anymore.
But they're still in effect or something?
They're still in effect, but they're just not enforced.
Yeah.
Because
they're ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, some of them just don't even make any sense. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so I actually saw one that literally makes no sense, and it's just there because like nobody used their brains. So there's a federal law that you can't hunt whales, right?
You can't what?
It's illegal to hunt whales.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
We don't want people hunting whales.
Absolutely.
But in Utah, which is a landlocked state, they just took that federal law and they're like, yes, this is part of the Utah law now. But it's like, why does a law exist in Utah to not hunt whales? You know what I mean? It's like, so it's just the stupidity of some lawmakers.
Where this was recent.
Well, I don't think it was recent. I think it's just whenever they came up with that law, whenever that law became a law.
Maybe they just didn't know the general geography.
No, I think it was just laziness. They're just like, yeah, just adopt all the federal laws.
We'll just take it.
Yeah, exactly. So like stupid things like that, right? So I actually have a weird law for every state.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
We'll just run through the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Some of these are stupid. Some of these are silly. Some of these are actually like, why does that even exist?
Okay.
So in Alabama, apparently, it's illegal. I got to read these. It's illegal to wear a fake mustache in church that causes laughter.
But if you wear a fake mustache that doesn't invoke laughter,
I think
then
it's
you're
okay. I think you're okay to wear a fake mustache as long as it's not over the top or like stupid.
Okay, but do you think walking into a church with a mustache will invoke laughter from the churchgoers? Because I don't even think that would be a thing.
But okay, so here's my problem with this is...
What if you have like a mustache you can't remove? Like,
like it's a real mustache?
Like an actual mustache?
Yeah. Well, no, but it's the law is a fake mustache, so they're probably going to walk up and like try to yank on it, and if it doesn't come off, they're like, well, it's a real mustache.
Who would do that?
I don't know.
Can you imagine walking in somewhere? It's like, you know what? Your mustache looks fake. Let me take it off.
But here's the other thing is like, what if you wear a fake mustache, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a legit looking mustache. But then you walk into the church and you don't expect anybody to laugh and they start laughing. Well, are you guilty of this crime? Because you didn't try to invoke laughter. It just happened.
But why would someone...
Wear a fake mustache?
Yes, but why would someone just like outright laugh at someone wearing a mustache?
Because they wore an over-the-top stupid mustache.
I mean, but what if it's not over the top? That's what I'm not thinking of it as like an over-the-top kind of mustache. Like
I am. I'm thinking of like some crazy like curly Q mustache, like no offense to any hipsters out there with the curly mustache.
But those are cool. See,
they are now. Well, they probably weren't in Alabama in 1948.
Maybe they were because
what if
Alabama.
somebody? Okay, moving on. In Alaska, it is illegal to wake a sleeping bear for a photograph.
You know, I would hope that's a good law because I don't know anyone stupid enough to wake up a bear. But you know, I don't know. Maybe. Can I pet that dog?
So I feel like that doesn't need to be a law because if you woke up a sleeping bear for a photo and it just mauled you to death, you got what was coming to you and natural selection took its
But
course.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think this is a really stupid question. So bears hibernate, right? I don't know for how long, but I think months, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They sleep too?
What?
I thought they were just awake the entire time.
No, I'm pretty sure they're sleeping.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because they're sleeping for a long time, and they just fall asleep again. Like,
wait, do you think they're awake for months on end?
why not? I mean, come on.
All right.
No. Okay. Is there anyone else out there that thought that? Because I don't know. I think that just makes sense.
That they sleep for like 3 months,
And then they're just awake until they have to fall asleep again for a long time.
No, I think bears sleep. I think every living thing needs to sleep.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay, so by the way, let me start. I know we're only through 2 states, but so this list is from ChatGPT.
Okay.
Now here's the funny thing. So ChatGPT is not always accurate. Surprise, surprise. But I ran the list of weird laws through Grok, which is the XAI. And Grok fact-checked these for me.
Oh, okay. Great.
Don't we love fact-checkers in this world?
Absolutely.
So the Alabama one, the fake mustache, there's no current evidence to support that it's a current law in Alabama. They're not sure if it ever was.
Okay.
Or Grok is not.
Okay.
The Alaska one, you can't wake a sleeping bear for a photograph, is apparently plausible. So there's nothing in the Alaska laws that specifically say you can't wake up a bear for a photograph, but there are harassment laws against animals. So you can't harass and pester the animal.
There should be. Yeah.
So it's actually like kind of plausible. Like if you walk up to a bear and start poking at it, like you're probably guilty of some kind of a law that they have.
I feel like someone did that in the past, and that's why they had to come up with that law. I wonder if that person's still alive.
I don't know if anybody necessarily did that, but there was probably like kids like screwing with animals, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, Arizona. Donkeys are prohibited from sleeping in bathtubs.
See, I don't agree with that.
I think a donkey should be able to sleep wherever it wants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just
ChatGPT.
let them be.
Grok says that's fake. Fake law. Yeah.
Darn it. That's a good one.
All right. So Arkansas. Arkansas. The reason I say it that way is because mispronouncing the state name Arkansas is strictly prohibited, according to ChatGPT.
Okay.
So the fact check, though, there's no law that actually says it's prohibited from mispronouncing it. But the Arkansas code actually does define how to pronounce Arkansas. So they're not telling you that it's illegal, but there's a code. So that's kind of where it's based off of.
Yeah.
It's like, we actually define how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to arrest you for saying Arkansas.
Yeah, but you know what? I know it's Arkansas. You know it's Arkansas. But there's some people that are like, okay, it's Kansas. So why isn't this Arkansas? Like, why is it Arkansas?
Yeah. There's some low IQ people. You're right.
Right? Like,
Yeah. Anyway. In California, it is illegal for women to drive while wearing a house coat.
Is it illegal for men to drive while wearing a house coat?
Do men wear house coats?
2025, maybe. I don't even, what is a house coat?
I don't
even know what a house coat
I don't
is.
know.
Does anyone know what a house coat is?
It must be something from like the 40s or 50s.
I feel like it's one of those like...
I feel like Lucille Ball at some point wore a house coat.
But I also feel like Tony Soprano's mom in The Sopranos wore house coats. Those are like grandma like throw like jacket. I don't know how to describe like PJs with like the sleeves and they're like long.
Yeah.
And they have like buttons. Maybe that's a house coat.
I don't know. But so there were gender specific laws back in the day, of course. This one specifically, though, not so much. So ChatGPT actually cited a code section because I asked it to give me a code section, and that code section actually has nothing to do with what you can and can't wear. It has to do with equipment on vehicles. I think it was like about turn signals or something. So yeah, it was bullshit.
Oh, okay.
So this is the problem with the internet is a lot of people post some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a true one. One of our first actual diehard, like really true laws in Colorado. Why they had to come up with this law? Probably because there was a lot of this going on. You can't ride a horse while under the influence in Colorado. You can get a DUI on a horse.
I mean, yes, because you are responsible for steering the horse.
Well, and here's the problem with the horse. Horses are not small animals.
They're not.
They can do some damage.
Yes, they can.
So yeah, it is actually an enforceable law in Colorado. You cannot ride a horse while under the influence.
Imagine getting a DUI on your record, but it being
On a
horse
horse.
related.
But here's the thing too, though, is I mean, the horse is probably smart enough to not like run into a crowd of people.
I'm sure, but
And I feel like it is more responsible for somebody to ride a horse while under the influence trying to get home than drive a freaking car. The car's not going to stop you from running into a building. The horse will.
Absolutely not do either one of them.
Yeah, but it just.
But I see where the law would
I think they should maybe have it like you can ride a horse while under the influence, but not like at like maybe only up to a certain level of blood alcohol level. You know what I mean?
But how do you check your blood alcohol level? You're at a bar.
Keep track of how many drinks you've had. I don't know.
Okay, so 2 shots of vodka is okay, but 3 is not.
Something like that.
Okay.
Or maybe that's another discussion too. Maybe they should just have like a free breathalyzer at every bar. Don't give the politicians any ideas.
Kind of gross.
But no, like you have like tips that you can like swap out and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem is? Then literally everybody would be driving at a 0.07.
Yeah.
And some people at 0.07 are still sloppy.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
People should just be responsible.
Yeah, people should just
not do things like
Uber's
that.
cheap. Yeah, shouldn't drive.
Lyft is,
Lyft is cheaper.
Yeah.
Sorry, Uber. You've been dethroned. In Connecticut, the pickles must bounce to be considered official pickles.
I didn't know pickles bounce. like cucumber vinegar pickles?
Yeah, pickles. So it originates from a 1948 food safety regulation requiring firmness with a bounce test mentioned anecdotally, not explicitly in current statutes, so likely outdated but historically accurate.
I don't understand. How does a pickle bounce?
Apparently, if you drop a pickle, it'll bounce. I could see that. Pickles are somewhat rubbery. They're a little flexy. Because maybe if it's not pickled enough, it won't bounce. It'll just like lie there. You just drop it and it just,
Okay.
pickle down, cucumber down at that point.
I prefer my pickles and cucumbers to
Just
still-
lay flat.
Just lay there. Yeah.
Yeah, don't move around.
Don't move around.
A likely inaccurate law. This next one. In Delaware, I'm looking at you, Mr. Biden. It is illegal to sell dog hair. Likely inaccurate.
What do you use it for?
I don't know.
What would you use dog hair for?
I mean, I guess it depends on what type of dog it came from.
Maybe to make a blanket. I don't know.
Stuffing a pillow?
Maybe.
Why does my pillow have fleas? I don't know why. I don't know why you would sell dog hair, but it's a. Yeah, but this is likely a fake law.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess Delaware had to be famous for something. It's a bullshit law about dog hair is probably the one.
Yeah.
In Florida, you must pay the parking fee at a parking meter if you tie your elephant to it.
Oh, I've done that.
I mean,
I had an elephant when I went to Florida, and I just tied it there. You know.
it apparently
Paid
weighs
for
as
the
much as a
parking.
car. It probably takes up the same amount.
I would think it would weigh more than a car.
I don't know. How much does an elephant weigh?
I don't know.
An elephant probably weighs like 8,000 pounds.
Let's look and see.
But like, obviously there's different types of elephants, but you gotta look at like the African bull elephant.
African bull elephant?
Yeah, like those big ones with the huge tusks.
Oh.
And also, is it a baby? Does a baby elephant have like less of a parking fee?
Up to 14,000 pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
So I think it weighs more than a car.
Yeah.
Maybe like an RV
Maybe.
or something. But I wonder why they would have to make that law. Were there people
With elephants?
with elephants just walking around? I'd like to see that.
This was not a real law.
Darn it.
This was another myth.
Darn it.
No record in games. Popular. So this one's it says, this is in Georgia.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you it is a inaccurate
Okay.
urban legend. But the internet said that in Gainesville, Georgia, it is illegal to eat fried chicken with anything but your hands. I would go straight to jail.
You would I was just going to say this man
Straight to jail.
This man eats pizza with a knife and fork.
I did just the other day.
Okay.
I don't want to get my hands dirty.
Which is the weirdest thing because of what you do as a profession. Like,
Well, okay, so here's the thing is I will eat everything and anything with my hands at home, but when I'm out in public, I like to keep it
no.
tidy, clean, you know.
I understand, but I'll eat my pizza with my hands and I'll go wash them afterwards.
Nah, it just seems sloppy.
Even chicken wings, guys. Chicken wings. Knife and fork.
Maybe they should have gloves like pizza places.
That I would love. You know how I am with. Like,
I mean, it would make
cleanliness.
sense because you know you're sitting down, you're probably touching a bunch of stuff, walking
Or
into
like
the
wings.
restaurant.
Like when you're going to like a seafood boil kind of place, right? And they give you gloves. Why can't they give you that when you're?
Do they give you gloves?
Yeah.
I thought they just give you a bib.
No, they give you bib and gloves.
No,
They do. Well, the ones I've been to.
you've been to some classy seafood boil
I
joints.
Classy lady.
5-star fine dining. Yeah, so I would go straight to jail for that for sure. No legal basis. In Hawaii, this bullshit law, according to the internet, says that you are not allowed to place coins behind your ears.
Oh, like a magic trick?
I guess. I don't know. But it's fake. It's fake news. It's fake news.
Yeah.
In Idaho.
Please tell me it's potato related. No.
No.
Darn.
It's even better than that.
Okay.
It's illegal to give a box of candy over 50 pounds to a romantic partner.
Why?
You can get a 48-pound box of candy.
Why?
I don't know.
50 pounds is a sweet spot. I mean,
Like, okay, so
who wants anything less?
this is also another fake law, but fake internet law. But it would have been really funny if they actually had to come up with like, okay, too many people are getting diabetes. We gotta draw the limit here somewhere.
There's too many of us in Idaho.
50
Getting
pounds.
50-pound box of chocolates. Let's make this into a law.
Yeah, that seems. Yeah, why would you need that? In Chicago, so Illinois, the state. Yeah, it is illegal to take a French poodle to the opera.
Okay, but that's the perfect place to take a French poodle. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's a classic
Honestly,
looking dog, right?
It's a classy looking dog. I think it would just sit there and appreciate the music. I'd put a little bow tie or a little beret on it.
Yeah,
You know,
but
and they can just like.
I've heard French poodles are like really aggressive.
I don't know. I've never experienced that.
How many
but,
French poodles have you hung out with?
One in my lifetime so far.
You didn't start any fights at the restaurant?
No.
Okay.
But I feel like they're just. I feel like they just know what they want and they go for it.
Okay, but also
and that's why they get mislabeled.
is it weird that I assume that all French poodles are female?
That's funny. They're
I
just
mean,
so like
they
so
look
classy looking.
They're I'm gonna get myself in trouble. But if it looks like a female, it's a female.
Stop. No, I think they just know what they want and they go for it, and they're just labeled as sassy.
Sassy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's fake.
Darn it.
Another fake.
I would have liked to take a poodle to the opera. I would have.
Well, it's not illegal, so you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
In Indiana, this is partially accurate, apparently. So it's got some basis.
Okay.
It's not 100% accurate, but so there are. Okay. I'm going to tell you the law first. In Indiana, it is illegal to catch a fish with your bare hands.
Okay.
So it's not actually illegal, but you do need a license. Okay, so there's this thing called noodling. And what it is so apparently people do this with catfish. So apparently catfish like burrow into the dirt under the like in lakes and stuff. And so what people will do is they'll put their hand in the hole and then the catfish will come out to try to like eat whatever it is because either you have some bait or it thinks it's food. And like when the catfish tries to eat your hand, you pull your hand out with the catfish. So it's called noodling. And apparently you need a license to noodle just like you would to fish in Indiana.
That's not the type of noodling I like. No, thank
I mean, but
good.
It's logical. You're catching a fish. One way or the other, you need a license to catch fish.
Sure.
Anyway, in Iowa, ice cream trucks are banned.
Iowa. Is that real?
So this says it's likely inaccurate, but it may be related to noise ordinances.
Okay, that's just depressing.
What if the ice cream truck doesn't play music and it just drives down the street quietly?
Like, that's a whole
That was a whole childhood
thing that we went through and that we loved. How depressing.
Okay, so can I also, just really quick on ice cream trucks, I remember back in the day, like way back in the day when we were kids, when you would
Hey,
go...
don't go that far. We're not way back in the day. Come on now.
Way back in our day.
Maybe yours.
Okay. Rude. I remember you would go to the ice cream truck and you would get like the Ninja Turtles ice cream. And when you would open it, it would actually look like a freaking Ninja Turtle.
Yes, and now it's kind of like...
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but they stopped trying at a certain point. And now they just look terrible. And I'm like, what happened? Why is one eye on his chin? What happened?
This inclusivity? I don't know.
It was just weird. It's weird because they actually spent time and they looked right and all that. And then like, or you would get like the cheaper ice cream trucks, like the ones that were like broken down looking.
Yeah.
And like the fudge bomb was all melted into a giant glob and then refrozen. You're like, dude, like all you got to do is keep the ice cream cold. That's your entire job.
But you know what? That was like such a highlight of my week.
Yeah.
Whenever they'd like come by and would,
Well, and the funny thing
run
is,
outside and be like, we want ice cream.
So the funniest part is half the time I wouldn't even get ice cream from the ice cream truck. I'd get like the little, like the candies or like the
Lucas
little Lucas
things,
powders or the little pouches with the, what were those things called?
I never got those things.
They were like little green pouches with that, like it was like a lemon salt kind of deal.
I know what you're talking. Wasn't that Lucas? Like
No,
something similar?
Lucas was a little, it was like a jar. It was like about yay big.
Oh no! And then I never got the jars. I got the little packets then because I remember that lemon salty thing.
They probably had Lucas packets too, but
Yeah.
the ones that I would get, the
I know.
Lucas was it was like a jar, like a literal.
I wouldn't get
like
the
not
jar.
like a cardboard like thing, and it was like this like mix of, I guess it was like tahini.
Yeah, but imagine how bad those things are for you.
Oh yeah, the sodium and
Would
fucking
just,
probably ate your
Did you
insides.
like do it from like your hand, like you're like lick your hand and like, oh, you don't eat with your hands. Were you like that too as a child?
No, with that stuff I would.
Okay.
Like you would, and the funny thing is like, yeah, you would pour a little in your palm and you would lick it.
Couldn't pay me enough to do that now. Gross.
And then just pour more and then sit there and eat an
Nope.
entire fucking couple of ounces of salt, sodium, and chilies.
I remember.
Flakes.
Not good.
Yeah.
I could not. But do you remember, like, I think ice creams were like $1 or $2 a piece back then?
It was cheaper.
Was it cheaper?
They were like 75 cents.
Why do I remember them being like $1 or $2?
Maybe you're remembering later. Because I'm remembering like when we were like 10 years old.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, maybe.
10, 12 years old. They were like 75 cents, 50 cents. Depends on which one.
Crazy.
But yeah, that's and the funny thing is now when you go to the stores, like even the same popsicle brand ice creams, like the fudge bombs and stuff, it's not the same.
It's not.
I don't know what they did to them, but it's not the same. Like it's a whole different flavor. Yeah, I don't. It's not for me. Anyway, okay. So in Kansas, hitting a vending machine that stole your money is illegal.
Ah, darn it. I mean, I understand the frustration. I think we've all been there.
Yeah. Well, and so just to be clear, it's not. There isn't a specific law against vending machines, but yeah, if you're damaging property, then
obviously
it's vandalism. But yeah.
But like a light tap or a smack, I think, if your item's not falling out from the little ringy thing.
I'd give it more than a light smack. Like if it gets stuck in there, I'm gonna shake that fucking thing until it falls out. Like give me my money or my chips. Yeah, exactly.
But like even back then, I remember that happened so many times and we couldn't do anything about it.
You just walk away.
We just like I was like a kid and I had lost like 50 cents or 75 cents, whatever.
And like that was all the money we had. Yeah.
Just like walk away sad because I didn't get my shirt.
I didn't get my Kit Kat. Like fuck.
In hindsight, that would have been that's a good thing, but still, you know, I was so depressing.
Yeah. In Kentucky. I'm sorry to everybody that's from Kentucky because this is screwed up. Like this is how screwed up the internet is that they make up fake shit like this. But there's apparently a law, this is fake, in Kentucky that you have to bathe at least once a year.
That's stupid.
That's suggesting that people in Kentucky don't bathe. Like that's screwed up. Come on.
Yeah.
That's
just dumb.
That's just rude. In Louisiana, it is illegal to send a surprise pizza delivery without consent.
I would love a surprise like that. I would love a pizza surprise.
Like, yeah, what if somebody's just trying to do something nice for someone? It's not a prank. It's just
like, why pizza? What about like flowers or?
Well, this is probably.
What about a grilled cheese sandwich? Is that illegal? Or
probably not.
A full rack of ribs? I mean.
Well, and this probably.
Why do you cut it up pizza?
Because this was probably something that was made up when they had when pizza was the only thing you could have delivered. Because let's not forget that it wasn't too long ago that the only food that you could have delivered was either Chinese or pizza. Everything else you had to go and pick up.
That's true.
Yeah. There was a world like that, children.
There was.
There's some 14-year-olds going, what?
Yep.
What'd you guys eat then?
We'd have to actually physically go and get our food.
Yeah, we'd have to leave the house.
Have to leave the house. Yep.
Yeah. And when we did, we couldn't get on the internet and post to TikTok. All right. In Maine. Okay, so this is it's fake, but it's not.
Okay.
It is illegal to step out of a plane in flight.
I would hope no one would do that.
So, okay, but skydiving.
I was thinking about something very different than skydiving, but okay.
Okay, but so it's not a Maine state law.
Okay.
But federal FAA regulations do have a law where you are prohibited from stepping out of a plane that is in flight.
So skydiving is illegal?
I don't know how they get around that. Maybe there's an exception.
Did enough people do this to where they're like, you know what, we should make this a law?
Either that or they assumed that people were so stupid that they needed this law.
Where is this again?
There's a federal FAA regulation.
In what state?
Every state. It's
every
federal.
State. Huh. You know, it is what it is, I guess.
I guess so. Anyway. In Maryland, it is illegal to swear on the highway.
Imagine all of the road rage, all the pent-up road rage. I don't know how traffic is there, but imagine they had that law in Los Angeles.
Well, imagine being mad at somebody and you're like, you son of a nice person.
Yes.
Because you couldn't swear.
There's a bunch of people in cars.
Yelling nice things at each other.
Things at each other. You know, maybe they have a thing. Maybe that's just make the world a better place. I don't know.
Hey, who do you think you are cutting me off?
Calm aggression, you know?
Calm aggression?
Calm aggression.
That's like that Family Guy clip where they had drive-by arguments in England. It's like, have you seen that?
No.
It was supposed to be like so they were talking about something. It's like the worst thing they have over there is drive-by arguments. And the guy pulls up to these people standing on the street, rolls down his window and he goes, "Reginald, I disagree," and drives off.
Okay, but I'm so down for that. I think it'd be so great if we had that here. Imagine. Just like calm aggression, like driving by someone. "Hello, sir. You're driving like a moron. Goodbye."
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Why are we British?
Because only British people are that nice. Either that or they're got to be Canadian. I don't know what this Faust is about, but you must stop. A boot. I will not have this in my house.
You sound like that.
House.
You sound like that guy from Frozen, where the little shack, the little salesman.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is?
Woohoo! Big summer blowout.
Why does that sound familiar? I mean, were they Canadian?
No, they're from Arendelle.
Is Arendelle Canada?
No. Don't ask.
I mean, everything was frozen. It seems like it might have been Canada.
It was. I think it was like somewhere in Europe. I don't remember where exactly, but it wasn't Canada.
Arendelle, Canada.
No.
All right. So that's fake. In Massachusetts. At a wake,
Okay.
mourners may eat no more than 3 sandwiches.
That'll be a problem for some people.
What if people just eat when they're depressed and they're depressed about somebody passing away and they're like, "I want more sandwiches."
And who's there? Are they? Is someone there to count? And
And do they like call
Report?
the cops?
Yeah.
And then
Are
like the
they-
cops come and they're like,
like-
"Okay, well, who saw him eat 4?"
yeah, like, do they report you? How does that work? Is that true?
No. But it is an interesting concept.
Maybe a lot of people in Massachusetts really like sandwiches, which I've heard they have really good sandwiches. But
Okay,
that's
I have a
why.
question now. But this brings up a legitimate point. If this was a true law, right? Okay, well, you can't have more than 3 sandwiches. What if it was a sandwich that was cut up into small pieces? Can you not have more than 3 pieces of that sandwich?
No, because if you cut it, if you have a
like it's like each serving is like a piece of a sandwich.
yeah, no, because it's just a piece. It's not a full sandwich. But then again, let's say you have a full baguette, okay? That's like 2 feet long, okay? And now you make a sandwich, right? And most people you can probably cut that up into 4 to 6 pieces,
Oh,
right?
maybe.
Again, pieces.
Okay.
But then you sell
It's still one sandwich.
a 6-inch, it's still one sandwich.
So what?
So does that mean that the entire loaf is one sandwich?
I would think so. But what about like those Subway 3-foot sandwiches that they would have for like corporate events?
Yeah, is that considered one sandwich?
Who's going to eat more than 3 of those?
But
I don't.
very complex.
This is very complex.
I don't like this.
Okay, so Michigan. Okay. It's illegal to sell a car on Sunday in Michigan.
Because of religion? I'm
Probably.
assuming? Yeah.
It says that it's actually part of a repealed law from the 50s.
Okay.
So apparently it was, it's not current, but it was at some point.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
see
it's
that.
probably a religious thing. They probably like it's probably related to like drinking laws and stuff like that.
No
too.
business on Sundays.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Misinterpreted from okay. So in Minnesota, sorry, I kind of gave it away by mumbling the fact check. It's illegal to sleep naked. How would anybody know?
Yeah. How would they know?
How would they know?
They're not going to know.
They're not going to find out. And I mean, realistically though, I wouldn't sleep naked anyway, just because it's like, well, we live in earthquake country.
Yeah.
So if I got to run outside the house because
experiencing a really
If we're having
earthquake.
a really bad earthquake, the last thing I want to do is also have to worry about freaking being naked and getting cut by shit that's falling around. You know what I mean? It's like you got buildings collapsing, and now you
You're not naked.
you got to not only worry about cutting your head open or like gashing your hand, but you also got to worry about like your dong being ripped open. Like, come on, dude.
Kid, I don't want to talk about that. Ooh.
Or like slicing a titty. Like, no. that's
Oh,
not cool.
stop it. Stop
Like, seriously, I'm just saying.
That's very Final Destination.
That is very Final Destination. Mississippi. It is illegal to teach others what polygamy is
I wonder why.
because they don't want people being polygamous.
Yeah, but you can still.
Mississippi is a very like, I feel like it's a very Bible thumper type of state. No,
Very conservative.
well, not just conservative, but like I feel like very, very Christian. Seems like.
But I mean, people can still do their own research.
Yeah, so that's actually not true. But polygamy is illegal in Mississippi. I would
Each
hope.
their own.
In Missouri, it's illegal to honk someone else's horn.
Darn, because, I'm going around everyone's cars and honking their horn for my own personal.
Hey, baby, want to come over?
Good
and
time.
honk my horn. Yeah, that's kind of strange. Like, but yeah, it's not real. It's some kind of noise ordinance thing that somebody twisted around, put it on the internet. See, this is the funny thing is some of these just sound so
Outrageous.
outrageous that people believe them because
Yeah.
they're like, well, nobody could even have made this up. And so yeah, they post it on the internet on some forum or some like Reddit or something.
Yeah.
And it takes off. In Montana, it is illegal to have a pet rat.
I'm fine with that. I don't like rats, so
I don't either.
I don't really. Cool.
So this is actually not true, but on that subject, I don't like pet rats.
No,
Rat is not a pet. It's a rodent.
I'm not.
It's a pest.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a fine line between pet and pest.
Look, to each their own, but not my thing.
Yeah,
all.
For that matter, I don't like gerbils, hamsters.
Or I'm not into like reptile
Guinea
pets either.
pigs.
Like I don't.
Yeah, I
can't.
don't do reptiles either. I don't want a giant iguana freaking wandering
little
around.
doggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little puppy.
Yeah.
Or a kitty.
Nebraska. We're getting into the ends. There's like 7 states that start with it. What? More than that. It is illegal for a parent to perm their child's hair without a license.
I think that they shouldn't perm
Their
a child's hair
period.
in general.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's plausible. So because of their cosmetology license laws, yeah, you're not supposed to be perming people's hair.
You absolutely without a license, whoever it may be.
But there's nothing that says that's like a parent can't do it. So maybe it's something that like, you can't run around perming people's hair without a license, but somebody turned that into parents can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In Nevada, using an x-ray machine to size shoes is illegal.
Wait, say that again.
Using an x-ray machine to size shoes is illegal.
Why would you use an X-ray to size shoes?
They actually used to.
For what reason?
So this says that this stemmed from some kind of radiation concern, blah, 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 blah. Likely repealed or unenforced, but historically accurate. So there used to be, and I can't remember who it was, but at some point, some dude, because they didn't know anything about radiation back then, they were like, oh, x-rays, awesome. X-rays are great for everything. And there was some guy that ran around basically selling this x-ray machine to like shoe stores because like, look, you can size people's feet with this machine. Yeah, so it was actually a thing. So maybe Nevada made it a law because they're like, well, radiation's not cool.
Yeah.
They probably figured it out pretty
Makes
quickly.
sense. Yeah.
I could imagine how many people were x-rayed literally to death before they realized how bad radiation was.
Back then, yeah, I'm sure.
Like, and not to mention, like, x-ray machines back then were probably sloppy and like blasted you with radiation. It was probably not like the machines today, I'm sure, are a lot more like dialed in, you know what I mean? So that they're not like just spreading radiation everywhere.
Course.
Back then, the whole room was probably just irradiated all at once. Like, it was probably nuts.
Yeah, they just didn't know any better.
Yeah, don't mess with things you don't know
Right.
about. In New Hampshire, it is illegal to collect seaweed at night.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go into the ocean at night.
You can't collect seaweed.
I'm okay.
I don't know what do people use seaweed for?
Eat?
Yeah, but like right out of the ocean, it sounds weird. It's funny because it's like when it's like at a sushi restaurant, and you're like, yeah, my roll is wrapped in sushi and seaweed. Cool. But when you see seaweed in the ocean, you're just like, no.
It terrified me as a child because I didn't really know what it was. And it would
Are you
wrap
talking
around
about-
my leg.
No, that's kelp.
Kelp? Okay. People eat kelp.
Yeah, kelp is disgusting.
It was just, no.
It's like this slimy, like alien
the little
looking
bulbs and
plant.
everything,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. This stuff is disgusting. It literally looks like an alien plant. I don't know what it is, but
Freaked me out as a kid.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably used it for like some kind of weird stuff in horror movies back in the day too. Probably like like mix it with like fake blood and yeah. Anyway, that is a coastal protection law, possibly to prevent theft. Plausible and likely enforceable in specific contexts. So that's true.
Okay.
You cannot collect seaweed at night.
Okay,
Only during the day. Probably easier to do it during the day anyway.
I would think so.
In New Jersey, this is actually a newer one. And this is actually true.
Okay.
And there are other states that have this as well, but it sounds crazy. It's illegal to wear a bulletproof vest while committing a crime. So there are a few states that are there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think New York try to make it illegal to buy bulletproof vests, or they try to make it like where you needed a permit for
But
one.
do you think someone who's committing the crime is really going to care that they're committing a crime wearing a bulletproof vest?
Don't get me started on that. Because like when they talk about like some of these gun laws, and it's like, well, it's illegal for someone to whatever have a, like in California, your gun magazines can only be 10 rounds. I'm like, you think the person that's going to go out and commit murder is going to care whether or not they're going to be charged with a freaking high
Well, that's
capacity
what I'm saying is
magazine
I
or
don't
not?
think they're going to give a crap.
That's the thing is like, the argument is that, oh, well, this is going to prevent crime. Like, no, it's not.
If they're going to want to do crime, they're going to commit it
If
anyway.
somebody is willing to commit murder, the worst crime of all, you think they're going to care about some kind of weird stupid law about bulletproof vests? Or,
Exactly.
It's stupid.
Anyway.
New Mexico. Wow, interesting. In New Mexico, and this is actually defined. So the law says idiots cannot vote. And it says that historically, this was defined. Idiots, the word idiot was defined as somebody who has an IQ of less than 30.
Okay.
And this is on the books, and it's an outdated law that nobody's enforcing, but it's a competency law for voting, which we should maybe bring back. But yeah, somebody with an IQ of less than 30 technically cannot vote in New Mexico. Does that mean that New Mexico may or may not have like illegal votes?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, but an IQ below 30, like you'd have to be a potato, I think. But, well, no, and I mean it like literally, I think you'd have to be a vegetable. That's not what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean a potato, I meant a vegetable.
Look, some of us have bodies like potatoes.
No.
Okay? Don't be rude.
My point is like people who are in a vegetative
I love that you used a potato for that.
I think I'm hungry. I meant a vegetable. Like somebody that's like in a vegetative state and somebody votes on their behalf.
Yeah.
That might be. Sorry. Anyway, it's fucked up. In New York, this is fun. Okay, so in New York, it is illegal to be masked in public.
Okay.
Except for health or events.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is an actual law. They relaxed on enforcement of this law because of COVID. But it originally was put in place to combat the KKK. Can't be walking around with a mask.
Yep.
Or a hood.
Yep.
Apparently. In North Carolina. Oh, North Carolina. It is illegal. I would be arrested so quick. It is illegal to sing off key in public. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. North Carolina takes the music serious. Haven't there been a lot of like famous musicians out of North Carolina?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I could see maybe that's where that came from, but there is actually no evidence to support that.
I would think not.
A humorous exaggeration of noise ordinances.
Yeah.
Besides, I mean, it's like, how many people are running around like just judging people singing and going, "Hey, this guy's singing off key"? Like,
You suck. Get off the street.
yeah. North Dakota. It is illegal to serve beer and pretzels together.
But that's such a good combination.
Yeah, apparently it's it says it's likely repealed or unenforced. So it is a law, or was a law at some point, and it's tied to some of the old like religious laws and stuff like that.
Okay then.
Ohio. It is illegal to get a fish drunk. I'm sorry, what? It is illegal to get a fish drunk. Okay.
What if you just want to have a good time?
What if the fish wants to have a good time?
Yeah.
Ohio, what are you doing?
What are you doing? That's not cool.
A bizarre animal welfare law, possibly from early alcohol misuse concerns, plausible but unverified.
Oh my God, that actually really makes me sad.
Who's getting fish drunk?
Like, or any animal.
How do you get a fish drunk?
I don't know. Put it in their water? Maybe they breathe it in. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
even
kinda
want to think
strange.
about that, honestly. It's weird.
Like, who did that?
Yeah.
All right.
Psycho.
yeah.
Probably.
Oklahoma. It is illegal to make ugly faces at a dog.
Yeah. I don't think anyone should be making ugly faces at a dog. Dogs are precious.
I
Little
think.
babies sent from heaven. Okay.
Well, this is not actually true, but yeah, I think Oklahoma was just bored.
Probably.
There's nothing to do out
Yeah.
there. In Oregon, it is illegal. I've done this in California.
Okay.
It's illegal to use canned corn as fishing bait. I've used canned corn in California.
Okay.
Apparently, this is a very specific fishing regulation that's there to protect native species.
Okay.
It's accurate and enforceable.
Okay. Well, whatever works.
So if you're fishing in Oregon, only fresh corn, no canned corn.
Cool.
Cool. Oregon, you've got your priorities straight. That's for sure. Pennsylvania, drivers must stop every mile to send up a rocket signal at night in rural areas.
I would go insane if that was an actual thing. Can you imagine?
Okay.
Like, no.
So
That can't be real. No.
an outdated safety law from horse and buggy days, likely still on the books but unenforced.
Well, no.
Does that mean the Amish have to send up a little rocket signal every mile?
Because they're on horse and buggy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one day we can ask.
But isn't it illegal to set off little rocket signal flares just randomly every mile?
Don't know.
I mean, do they just sell these things at every gas station? What's going on here?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Pennsylvania. Some weird shit going on the East Coast. Rhode Island. It is illegal to steal or possess stolen poultry. I mean, this is not weird.
That makes sense.
That's
Don't steal chickens.
Don't steal people's chickens.
Yeah.
Like, what if some farmer has a freaking chicken farm and you just run up and steal his chickens? Like,
That's not cool.
There needs to be laws against this.
Absolutely.
And don't possess the stolen chicken.
Or turkeys.
Yeah,
Don't steal the turkey.
Any kind of poultry.
Any kind of poultry.
Hens, roosters, turkeys.
Quails.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, don't steal shit in Rhode Island or anywhere else for that matter.
Yeah.
South Carolina. It is illegal to play pinball under 18.
I wonder why.
Well, it was from the middle of the 20th century, so
Okay.
40s, 50s, 60s. It's repealed or unenforced today. So it was a thing because I guess people used to gamble with pinball.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there was 18 years old was a cutoff.
Okay then. Interesting.
But you could probably still serve your country back then if you were under 18. Mm-hmm. You know, they said there was like a lot of people that, like during World War II, like 14, 15-year-olds that were faking documents so that they could join the war.
Yep. Because they wanted to serve their country.
You can't even get a 14-year-old to take out the trash today.
Yeah.
And these people were literally forging documents and fighting Nazis.
Fight.
Like, what the freaking hell? They don't make them like they used to.
Times are different.
They don't make them like they used to. Anyway, let's not get on that. South Dakota, liquor stores cannot sell candy with over 0.5% alcohol. You know what that just makes me think of?
The little chocolates.
Those disgusting chocolates with the freaking whiskey inside.
But I felt so fancy eating those.
Okay.
Back in the day. They tasted awful though.
Imagine being just a chubby little kid going into...
You're telling me to imagine.
No. Going into the refrigerator, finding chocolate, going, oh, fuck yeah, chocolate. Opening it, shoving the whole thing in your mouth, taking a bite, not realizing that it's a hollow chocolate full of freaking whiskey.
It was disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Disgusting. I
Chocolate
don't care.
and whiskey don't go together.
I'm sorry if you like it. It's disgusting.
No.
It was back then and it is still today. Gross.
But like, it sucked so bad getting this like disgusting surprise.
And you couldn't get the taste out of your mouth.
No.
Like it was just there.
Well, because it's not like you're drinking the whiskey like you would normally drink whiskey. Like you're not really always expecting to bite into a chocolate and have a mouthful of whiskey. So it's like swishing around and you're chewing it and it's
the chocolate itself was so bad, like the quality of it.
Well, because I think the whiskey screwed it up too.
Maybe, but it was so bad. Like it's just gross.
Yeah, I think the alcohol probably like did something to the chocolate.
And keeping it in the fridge, I don't know. It was just not it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So yeah, don't. South Dakota can't do that. That there's an accurate law. Mm-hmm. So that's the funny thing though is, we can get them here. Mm-hmm. So apparently you can't get these in South Dakota. I wonder. I guess they have strict laws on that. So here's a recent one in Tennessee. So it's illegal to share Netflix passwords in Tennessee.
That sucks.
Well, and the funny thing is like Netflix is doing their own thing to like try to like limit password sharing, which cool, I get it.
Yeah.
But why is Tennessee as a state like going out and being like, oh yeah, Netflix, don't worry about it, we got you.
Priorities.
Mm-hmm. But does that mean you like get fined or go to jail for sharing your network? What are you here for? I shared my Netflix password.
Yeah,
with my
I got
cousin.
reported. It's me.
Yeah, seriously. Like, well, I'm sure it's probably just a fine.
Yeah,
but still, like that's kind of screwed up. Like, why?
So stupid.
Like, what? Seriously, why do politicians and lawmakers have to be involved with freaking? Netflix must have been paying them well. That's why. In Texas. This is still on the books. It's an accurate law. It's very niche. And I do understand why. But I do understand why it's a law. It's illegal to milk someone else's cow.
Yeah.
Don't steal the milk.
Don't steal the poultry and don't steal the milk.
Well, but see, that's the thing is this doesn't... I don't know why this is on a list of weird laws because this is...
There must have been people doing this.
You know what sucks is some of these laws are only considered weird because people think of it as funny. But it's like, well, dude, if you're a rancher and somebody's stealing your milk from your cows, like that's not funny at all. Like this is probably a serious problem in some places. I mean, or like people stealing their poultry. Like this might be funny to people that live in the city, but to some people, this is their livelihood.
Exactly.
Or it's even if it's not their livelihood, this is how they eat and drink. Like they're expecting their chickens to be there so they could have eggs in the morning. Of
course.
Yeah, this is not funny. People need to realize that not everything revolves around their little city life. Utah, it is illegal to hunt whales. We talked about that one.
Yeah.
Don't hunt the whales in Utah. In Vermont, women need husband's permission to wear false teeth.
Is that real? Is that true?
It was a real law. It's been repealed.
Okay.
But I think this comes back from like the time where women were not considered full.
You're right.
Like, yeah.
How about we just let women do and wear whatever they want?
But that's the thing is like, I'm just looking at it this way. Like, if you were missing a bunch of teeth and you wanted to wear fake teeth, I'm never going to stop you from doing that. Like, if
You
that
would never
made you
stop me from doing anything. And
no, but I'm just saying, like, even if this was a thing, like if we lived in like 1907 and you're like, I feel more comfortable with these fake teeth, and I'm not going to be like, no, I give you no permission to wear fake teeth. Like
that's so, ugh, I don't even know.
yeah, anyway.
Ew.
In Virginia, it is illegal to spit on a seagull.
No one should be spitting on any animal.
I hate seagulls.
Me too, but no one should be
I
spitting
wouldn't spit on
any
a
animal.
seagull.
No.
It's
Freaking annoying,
oh god.
but
You know what the crazy thing is like if you're anywhere near the ocean, the minute food comes out,
the second.
I don't know where they come from. It's
And,
actually
they have,
quite
like,
terrifying.
This sense of like, oh, there's food,
It's actually terrifying.
and they hover around you until you're
Well,
like,
Do you
not paying
remember
attention.
when we had rented that little whatever when we were in Long Beach,
yes,
and the minute we brought out the snacks,
yep,
they were everywhere. It was actually
Everywhere,
scary.
yeah.
It was actually scary.
Yep.
I'm like, these things are going to attack us any moment. And they're not small birds.
They're not.
They're pretty good sized birds. Like, freaking things are terrifying.
yeah,
But yeah, don't spit on them in Virginia because this is a real life law that you can
yeah.
get in trouble for.
Good.
So don't spit on the freaking seagull.
Don't spit on them.
But you could do it in other states. Pretty sure the EPA would say
Yeah.
about that, but well, maybe not the EPA, the fishing game. Yeah, I don't know.
Wrong. You're asking the wrong person.
Washington. Again, going back to religious laws. In the state of Washington, it's illegal to buy. It's ignored today, but it's still on the books. It's illegal to buy a mattress on Sunday. Mattress shopping has to happen on a different day.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, you know what's weird? Like it was weird to me. Remember years ago when we had gone to Virginia? You can't buy alcohol on a Sunday.
You can't.
Like, I was like, what? What do you
Isn't
mean?
there like you can't buy it after like 6 o'clock too, or something like that, or like 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I think it was 8 p.m.
Yeah.
on most days, and then I think it was like 6 p. or.
And you can't serve alcohol either, or something. There was
Something weird, but yeah, like I was genuinely shocked going from California to where you can buy any kind of a spirit at any store. We went to Virginia, and it's like, oh, you want to buy this? Well, you got to go to the ABC store because that's the only place that sells it. And I'm like, but that's inconvenient.
Right. Yeah.
And God forbid you're going to have a last minute party. No, you're shit out of luck. You got to pre-plan your drinking.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Or just be well stocked.
Yeah. Probably the better
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. In West Virginia, we're almost done. It's illegal to hunt with a drone or ferret. Yeah. It's a newer law. So you can't hunt with a drone.
Or a ferret,
I don't know.
like the animal.
That's what I'm confused about.
Maybe they have like a really good sense of smell or something, or
Maybe.
sight.
Well, I don't know, but the whole drone part kind of makes sense.
The drone part makes sense. I'm lost at the ferret.
Yeah.
If anyone has any insight on that one, let me know.
I have a question though. Does this just mean like, so if you're out hunting and you have a drone to like kind of like go up there and just like look around to find the animals, like does that
Survey the
is that
surroundings,
illegal?
yeah.
I guess that's illegal.
Yeah, because you're technically using
You're
it to
using the
hunt.
drone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna have a rifle mounted.
Obviously not, but that's what you're using it for. You're using it to scope out the area.
You're not hunting
So-
with a U.S. military drone that can conduct an airstrike. Like, but anyway, cool. West Virginia. Interesting. Wisconsin, all cheese and butter must be highly pleasing. What the fuck?
Hell yeah. All cheese and butter should be highly pleasing.
I mean, I guess Wisconsin does take their cheese.
Obviously, it's the cheese state.
So, the language is kind of interesting because it does say highly pleasing, but it is an accurate law that pertains to.
It is accurate.
Yeah, to quality standards of dairy.
Yeah, as it should be.
But it's a weird way of phrasing it and saying that it's got to be.
Go Wisconsin. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I mean, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Wyoming, last but not least. No fucking way. Wyoming does not disappoint. It is illegal to take a picture of a rabbit from January to April without a permit.
Why?
I don't know. It's a wildlife regulation. It says it's oddly seasonal.
Okay.
It's likely enforceable.
Okay, again, any insights, guys?
Wyoming did not disappoint at all.
Good.
Wyoming, you ended that on a strong note.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you've heard of any other funny laws, let us know. We're always up to hearing more.
Well, and here's the thing is obviously some laws are not everybody agrees with all laws because it doesn't apply to them or it just sounds weird, but like some of these were kind of, like I said, some of these were kind of screwed up because it was like, that's not cool. Like you're making fun of ranchers or, whatever. Like you're just making fun of people that live in rural parts of the world by calling it a funny or weird law. Like it's not weird. Like don't steal people's chickens. Like what's weird about that? You wouldn't want somebody stealing your cat either. So it's like, know. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff out there. And I know that some of these are real. And I know there's more real laws like this just because things just get put on the books and then forgotten and nobody pulls them off the books and somebody else comes along and just adds more weird shit. But yeah, that's where our taxpayer money's going to. Politicians creating weird laws. The funny thing is there's going to be a time, probably not too far from now, where they're going to be like, oh, did you know there's actually a law banning plastic straws in California? And people are going to be like, no way. What do you
like 30, 40 years?
Yeah. Like, oh, what do you mean? It's still on the books? Oh, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
On the books, but not enforced. Or, who knows what's going to happen in 30, 40 years. We'll see.
Like, the thing is like, how many restaurants do you go to where they give you a plastic straw? Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's not something that's enforced. Like, nobody's going to...
But you still have to ask for it. You still have to ask for it.
Some places, no. Some places, they'll just give it to you.
Yeah. Don't tell people that.
Well, but that's the thing is like, how do you enforce that? Like,
I know.
The law says that you have to request it. It's like, okay, well, if somebody walks in and says, oh, wait a minute, you guys all have plastic straws. All the restaurant has to do is say, yeah, they requested it when we serve them their drinks.
You can't really keep track of that stuff.
It's such a bullshit, like symbolic thing that they spend time and money doing this.
Yeah.
This is my point is like, we have these stupid laws where politicians have spent time, energy, and money, taxpayer money to put these stupid laws in place where they could have been spending that time and money and effort into something that actually would benefit people.
Yeah.
So politicians, if you're listening, fat chance of that. But yeah, if a politician is listening, stop making up weird laws. That's stupid.
Anyway.
Until
next time.
Until next time. Thanks for watching and see you next week.